Today I'm going to paint a big, beautiful peony. Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch, watercolor artist, teacher and a book author. Welcome to my studio. I already painted a peony recently, but today I got the real ones and it's a lot of inspiration and fun to paint from the real flowers. So let's do that again. When we paint peonies, the most frightening part is the amount of petals. But if we would not aiming to paint each and every petal and just look at peony as one big shape, that will make things easier. So in principle, the peony, it's has shape of a ball, a sphere. Then we need to attach a stem to the middle. And then the upper part will be this part of the petals which look up, roughly like this. And the bottom part will be the bottom leaves. And we can tilt it a little bit around. So that's basically the drawing of peony. And now let's start to paint. My peony has light, cold, pink color, and from my paints I will pick up quinacridone magenta. Paints like quinacridone rose will work, and you can always add a little bit of ultramarine blue to cool it down slightly. Let's check the paints. Like this, but even lighter. The mix should be even more diluted. Then we will get that nice light pink hue. Let's start. Let's start to paint all these frightening petals. I just bathe my brush in the paint, and I start to slide my brush from top to bottom, from top to the center. Sometimes I use tip of the brush, sometimes I use body of the brush. And don't forget to load your brush in the process. Try to apply different brush strokes. Very light for now, very light. We are starting super light. What would be convenient if you take the other brush? I have my fabric next to me where I can dry my brush, and use a bit brighter mix and touch randomly our light part and let it flow. You can even lift the paper a bit. Also, you can now add a couple of brighter brush strokes on the top of the light ones. I like this sliding movement of the brush. It will imitate those tips of the petals even nicer. Sometimes it's nice to grab very bold mix right from the pan, super creamy, and add a couple of dry brush stroke details. Let's add a little bit of warmer hue. I have another pink, quinacridone rose, very close but slightly different, and I think it will add a bit of variety to our peony. About this. Now let it dry, and let's paint the bottom petals. Again, I bathe my brush in my lightest mix and slide my brush. Basically just sliding my brush from bottom to top. Very light mix. I'm sorry you probably can't see that very well, but once I add a bit of dark, you will see. Now I go with my brush to the bolder version of the same paint and touch now the tops of the petals. We are creating these division between the upper petals and the bottom petals, and there is a lot of shade happening inside, so you can just dance around with the bold mix, let it all flow. I would like to add more layers to the upper part. What's important that I will reduce amount of water, so I create a bold mix. I can even dab my brush onto the fabric or paper towel, and stepping a little bit down, I do basically the same things what I did before. Slide in my brush, and now I'm trying to reach this line, this connected point between upper and bottom petals. Sometimes I use the tip of my brush, and a lot of bold paint, basically right from the pen, in this dividing line, so to say. Couple of bold brush strokes somewhere, leave some white areas around. This is that type of peony where you can't really see what's inside, so I just leave it like this. I can add a couple of bolder touches, but in principle I think it looks already pretty loose, nice, and I will add the stem. Stem is yellowish green, olive green you can call it, and the leaves are dark green. If you have paints like sap green, you can use it as it is, or you can mix phthalo green with rose yellow, for example. If you have already ready-made paints, why not to use them? I would like to soften this paint with a touch of the same pink, just to mute it a little bit. And then I paint the stem. Just looking at my inspiration, I can also notice that the stem has a bit of a pink shadow on one of the sides. So I can grab my pink paint and with the tip of the brush add a bit of pink hue on one of the sides. Now let's paint these leaves. I will switch to a bigger brush. I can use either hook or green dip, but also it's a little bit unnatural as it is. Therefore, you can mute it with the pink, and suddenly we are getting much more realistic green paint. I look at my reference. Leaves have some clusters, so I start with the tip of the brush, then I add pressure on my brush, and then I release the pressure. Then I go back to this meeting point, again pressure on the brush, a little bit of wiggling moves, release the pressure, and the small one side, another leaf, a bit longer one, but the principle is the same. Pressure on the brush, and then you release the pressure and connect to the stem. Couple of more leaves, same principle. And now I will switch to my smaller brush. I will grab my pink I used. I add touch of pink to the leaves, again to connect everything, and that's also very typical for peonies. I can wash my brush, dry it with the fabric or paper towel, and with clean damp brush go inside the leaves where the middle vein is supposed to be, and lift a little bit the paints. I can also do it with the same olive green which we got. Just letting watercolor do its job, spreading nicely around. I don't like this white area here. It will also give a feeling that there is a hole inside. So I will quickly fix it just with pink we used. Just adding another petal right here. Now it looks a bit better. And while I have pink on the tip of my brush, I can also add a couple of pink touches to the leaves, to this connection area. If your peony is dry, you can add a couple of details with the same pink we used, but on the top. It will create this layered effect, but don't overdo it. A couple of brush strokes is enough, and our peony is ready. Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope you enjoyed the process. I'm looking forward to know what would you like to paint next. See you soon. Bye bye.